that from Springfield, where it's this. So now I got to go through about 6,000.
That's the problem. That's the problem with it. You don't have to. You know me. I don't like quoting word for word anyway. So we'll just go around it. It's Mike. We BS.
Oh wait, I think I'm getting.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, we're good.
How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Not bad. Not bad. So you did good on the short today.
Yeah. We're going today anyway. I had a little exhaust issue yesterday. We were probably 10 miles from my home, and all of a sudden my car started sounding like a teenage Honda Civic.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I sounded like I was driving a little rice burner, so when he turned it around, I had to take it to the dealer. It was like a stupid loose bolt or something, so
that's always
it didn't
fun.
cost much, but it ruined our day.
That's always fun. So we'll just do this way.
Yeah.
Just like last year when we did the one where you were sitting in a Wawa parking lot. This time we're driving to the beach. So, it works out nicely.
A little more exciting trip this time, at least.
It will date when we're recording the episode, but whatever.
Oh, yeah, when is this out? When's this going up anyway?
Like November, I think, end of October, November, which is funny.
Hey, the beach could be beautiful in the fall.
All right, I actually do have Kyle here this time, unlike the last time we did this, so that's also a good thing. So,
okay, excellent.
And just so you know, I'm still recovering from my voice because we were at karaoke last night, and I kind of blew my voice out singing a song, so my voice is not 100% here yet. So,
all right.
Well, I'm just saying, it's always fun when you can get the entire bar to sing along with you, and that always is fun.
Ooh. Oh, you must have done well.
Yeah, I let a bar sing "Here I Go Again" last night by Whitesnake, and my voice is shot from it, but it was great.
Oh yeah, I can see that being surprising. I've heard you sing before. That's really surprising.
It was really fun. So, all right, let's get this thing going here. Let me just get my notes up here because I'm literally so disorganized this morning, which is very unlike me this season. I'm usually very organized this season. So, maybe because it's you, Mike, and I'm not too worried about organization this morning. All right. So, Mike, here's what we're doing, how we're doing this season. We're going to go, I'm going to say, welcome to Clerks Minute, blah, 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 blah. And then I say, I'm Blake, I'm Kyle, and you introduce yourself. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right. Kyle, you ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Clerks Minute, where we break down the 2006 Kevin Smith sequel, Clerks 2, Rosario Dawson just looking adorable, minutes at a time. I'm Mike.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Mike.
And Mike, welcome back to the show.
It's been a while. I did a minute last season.
Yeah, you're actually on 2 episodes last year, so that's always fun. And we're back here. And it seems
for
to
the
be
equal amount of time, but in one shot.
Yes, exactly. And also, it seems to be a tradition that we bring you on when Dante is doing somebody's toenails.
Or nails in general.
Yeah, that happened last year. So there you go.
Yes, I get the toenail scenes. I'm so excited.
Yes, the nail polish stuff. But that's not even the important stuff of this scene. So let's get into the scene itself. So let's move on. We are continuing on with what seems to be endless ass-to-mouth conversation, which is what we've been, I feel like, for 2 weeks now. I feel like this has been going on for a while. So at this point, I'm just going to clarify, we probably addressed this 4 or 5 times at this point, I guarantee, with other guests. So, Mike, where do you stand on the ass-to-mouth debate? Yes or no?
Well, could you repeat that one more time? I think I lost you for a second.
It's okay. By the way, just so everybody knows, because we're recording this so far in advance, Mike is in the car on the way to the beach, so if he had little issues here, he goes, that could be why. Yeah. So, I actually said, where do you stand on the ass-to-mouth debate that we've been debating on the show for the last couple of weeks?
So what debate? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, sorry, I have 2 bars at the moment. I'm really sorry.
All right. Let's try this question again, and I'll edit around this.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
So, where do you stand on the ass-to-mouth debate that we've been having on this show for the last, 2 weeks.
All right, I can't believe I missed that. I don't approve.
Okay, fair enough. It's a mixed bag. I really swear. This is a funny conversation to have with people because it gets really uncomfortable.
I know, especially when you have to make them repeat it a couple times.
Especially when you're sitting next to your girlfriend in the car.
Yes, that too.
And she has no idea what we're talking about. So,
you just choose the words wisely, that's all.
So, according to Bex here, she actually says it's okay every once in a while. And what if she asked Dante, what if Emma actually asked you to do it, and he refuses?
Yeah.
And she mocks him, saying, "I thought love
knew no bounds."
Hang on, can't do it at the same time. Can't do it at the same time, dude. You know this.
Okay.
She mocks him. I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
would definitely agree with Dante.
Hang on a second, Mike. I was going it to Kyle. Sorry. Hang on a second. Hang on. Communication due this morning. A little off, I see. Okay. So, I was going to say, Bex actually was making fun of Dante.
Was it? Oh, I thought love knew no bounds. Ew, that came off kind of catty, didn't it?
And then, Mike, you were saying.
Love definitely has bounds.
The true statement.
Definitely, I agree with Dante in this scenario 100%.
But yeah, that did actually Rosario to a point. We're watching a minute, and funny here, a little story. So I'm up a little earlier than Kyle, and I was sitting up here editing stuff for other shows, and I was getting the screen cap ready for this episode so I can edit it right away after we're done. And my laptop is on mute, so I'm not listening to the audio. I'm just looking for a screen cap. And I queued it up on the adorable picture of Rosario in this scene. And I was not listening to the audio whatsoever. I just had a adorable picture of Rosario. Cool, there's our screen cap for this episode. Kyle, watching the movie here, goes and tells me.
Yeah, says me, dude, we got to make that the screen cap.
I had no clue I did that already. No idea. So that's pretty funny.
Guys are connected.
Yeah, completely. I could not believe that happened, but that worked out nicely. So, so Dante pretty much tells her that when you get engaged, I'm going to bust your balls just as much as I'm busting mine. Well, we find out she doesn't believe in marriage because, as Dante put it, she's the cold-hearted ice princess who doesn't believe in marriage, which is a fantastic line. Not going to lie. Funny part is, I've had friends like this who are now married. I just want to make a note. I'd like to make that note. I've had a couple of friends growing up that said, never going to get married, never going to be in a relationship. Oh, they're married now with kids. And so there you go. So then we get on to the monologue of these minutes, which I couldn't find, but Kyle found it. You found a monologue?
Yes.
So I'll throw it to Kyle if you want to make it a little closer. And I'll let you do the monologue for this one, the Beck monologue, because I know it's perfect for you, so go for it.
I'm not saying it's not all right for you, but yes, I do think that marriage goes against our primal nature. To be loved, to fuck as much as possible, spread the seed around and keep the species going and all that shit they feed us in the movies and greeting cards. It's just propaganda to get us to marry, have kids, and keep the economy going. Marriage is just the keystone to economics.
Okay.
And as somebody who's utterly bitter about things such as Valentine's Day and the concept of romantic love in general, I love you.
It's weird hearing a speech like this from someone like an actress like Rosario Dawson. That's pretty funny. I love the fact that Kevin had her do this speech. Because it's one thing coming from a Randall. It's even one thing coming from Dante. But coming from Becky in this movie,
yeah,
that says a lot.
Yeah.
Right, Mike?
It does say a lot. Because normally, especially Randall, you definitely see Randall would probably agree with her 100%. She just happens to be talking to Dante at the moment in this scene. And it's very well known that Dante, even from like the original Clerks movie, was kind of always like looking for love and like maybe like a settling down type of girl, as opposed to like Becky's character, who I think is your like typical, especially nowadays, like people in their 20s, like, oh, I'm not going to settle down. I'm just going to do what I want and not worry about what other people are doing and only concern myself with myself.
I also like the fact that this whole spiel is coming from a woman, because you don't hear this from women very often. You know, it's very unique to hear it from that perspective, because it's always the man perspective. Like I listen. You can tell Kevin Smith wrote this. I think I've heard this on one of his podcasts before, like out of context from this. But hearing it from a female perspective is actually pretty damn cool. So, am I right though?
What? I completely agree. I think I think it's really well written anyway. I mean, considering it's the kind of crude movie Clerks winds up being, it's actually a real honest view of how relationships are viewed differently from different genders. Like generally, like you said, you would generally hear a man talking like that. You wouldn't really hear a lot of women like that. But that goes with the whole saying, like, you know, if a man sleeps with a lot of women, he's like a stud. But if a woman sleeps with a lot of men, then she's a slut. Like, it's just the different connotations that go along with that.
And to kind of go with that, whenever a guy says something like that, something like what Becky just said, that whole thing,
right?
People just go, "Oh, you just can't get laid. Is that it?" Or "No girl wants to fuck you," or something like that. Something like that. You know where I'm coming from on this, right?
I understand. I know exactly what you're saying.
I was gonna say, so yeah, to hear someone else who's been burned by the prospect of romantic love, pretty much share somewhat the same viewpoint is kind of gratifying.
You know, it's funny, because Mike just said something that, of all places to actually hear this comparison, actually was on this season of 13 Reasons Why. Of all places to hear this, they brought this up. They brought this exact conversation up on that show of all places. And spoiler alert, people who are behind on 13 Reasons Why, if you're a fan of the show, I don't know why you're behind, that's your own damn fault. But on that show, they pretty much had I'll just give character names out. If you don't want to show you, know who I'm talking about. But Clay finds out in the second season that Hannah had a boyfriend before her. And he got all jealous it's the whole story. I'm not sure you understand. She found out she had a boyfriend. He didn't know about it. Had a whole relationship going on. And one of the other characters goes to him and says, I've been with a lot of women, and I get all the praise. You're going crazy because she's with one person and suddenly she's a whore? That makes absolutely no sense to me at all, and I've been with a lot of women. So that is a good way of putting it, and thank you, Mike, for bringing that up, because I didn't think about that.
Well, it's definitely, that's how I kind of took, like, the whole scene, like, just with the shock thing, like the shock factor, quote unquote, because it's a woman saying those lines as opposed to a man. Like, oh, we're supposed to be, like, surprised. Like,
that's a good point. It's a very good point. So, all right, I'll ask you, Mike, what's your history with Clerks 2? I know we talked about Clerks 1 a lot the last time you were here, but what's your history with this movie?
Honestly, I didn't even see it for a while, like, after it came out. Because I've seen Clerks 1, like, a lot. I've probably seen it like 7 or 8 times. But the Clerks, honestly, before signing up for this podcast, I'd only seen it once prior. Wow. I wound up watching the whole thing again, like, fairly recently, but I like the movie. It's just definitely a little different than the low production value of Clerks 1. But obviously, Kevin Smith's come a long way since then.
This is true. This was at the time, it was supposed to be the last movie in the Juice universe. Yeah. So the fact that he brought in all his tricks and all of his friends, and we'll get into that as we go along in this movie. I was joking in an early episode of our run here that it feels like he said, fuck it, I'm just going to call all my friends and see if they come to this movie. That's what it feels like with this movie.
The other great thing about this is it doesn't feel like a snuff film.
No, it doesn't. This movie does. It has a lot looser of a feel, and it's more fun. It actually, for me, it's more fun.
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like a snuff movie at all, but it's like the...
No, I know what you're saying. That was black and white, and it was really, really dark.
It kind of looks like an 8mm reel that a private investigator would watch to see if there is actually somebody getting murdered in there.
You know, it's funny. I feel like at times it did feel like that, especially this scene where they're pushing their body out. Yeah. In the movie. Oh wow, that happened. People. Go back to Clerks 1 for that conversation.
As the guys from Mystery Science Theater put it, every frame of this film feels like someone's last known photograph.
That's funny. That's very, very funny. So, I will say that I love this movie, and I've been saying that a lot during this run. And the fact of the matter is, I now get to talk about Rosario Dawson for the next 7 weeks of my life, and I love it. And I have no problem with that.